happening, y'all? This is Todd Wilson with another episode of Elevate Your Game. Today, we have husband, father, the founder and CEO of the U, Outwork Sports, Girls Rock, the D-Slide, the guard whisperer himself, Mr. Olin Simplis, man. Finally got you on the show, bro.
Finally.
He was supposed to be our second guest right after Katino Mobley. And, man, we both busy people, and we finally got it together. And he came over yonder, up the hill, to come bless the show, man.
Hour, 40-minute drive.
No.
Yeah, bro.
All right, so we got to stay here for at least 3 hours and 40 minutes. So buckle up. We're going to be here for a minute then.
That's crazy.
Man, we love to start this show off with the wall of hoop movies. Favorite hoop movie of all time and why?
I mean, I love Hoop Dreams. You know, being a player development guy, a lot of these kids don't see the backstory. They see the picket fence, the white gate. They don't see the grind and what can be and what can happen along the journey. So that documentary was one of the ones that I love watching the most. It's real. You know, when you see a guy at the bottom, you see a guy that was higher recruited early, he got hurt, this guy surpassed him. Obviously injuries came into play, but it's true, it's facts, right? So, yeah, Hoop Dreams for sure.
No, absolutely. It's,
I see it there too.
It was almost unrealistic, right? Watching it's like, oh, is this really happening?
Right.
Like, no, this is a true story about some real kids, and it's happening right there. And we have our own stories here in LA of people going through the same thing.
Yeah, the sacrifice one kid made getting up at 5 a.m. to catch the train across town to go to a private school, which is prevalent now in LA. A lot of guys are doing it, obviously, but yeah, just showing the sacrifice, the hard work, all the stuff behind the scenes. So, man, it's really a great movie. Kids actually today should tune in and watch it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. So, when did you fall in love with basketball?
Man, I don't ever remember not being in love with basketball. I was a kid from Belize, came out here when I was 4 or 5. I just remember my uncle putting the ball in my hand and I didn't turn back. Yeah, so basketball has always been my first love.
And did you have somebody showing you how to play, or is this one of those things outside hooping and part of the neighborhood?
Yeah, bro,
sports scene?
It's the neighborhood I grew up in, legendary neighborhood, Robertson Park. A lot of players came out of there. Sean Higgins, Kevin Ollie, Tina Thompson, Chris Mills. I mean, a lot of guys came out of the year. I played high school ball. I was all city, all state. 11 of the top 15, the 3 teams was from the little park, Robertson Park. So now Nick Young's from Robertson Park. So it's a place where I just grew up in, and I learned the game getting beat up on by older guys. I didn't have a father in the house, no uncles, 8 aunts, so I didn't have a guy taking me to the gym. You know, my mother's, once again, came from Belize with 2 kids at 20 years old, so I had to learn this shit on my own.
And what was the move? Why did you guys come from Belize to here to America?
So, you know, my mother and my father had a situation. So my mother kind of quote unquote escaped. And the only reason he allowed her to come out here is because the only uncle I did have passed away. He was out here first. So he allowed her to come to the funeral. She stayed, left me and my brother in Belize for a couple of years, and then we came out. She got situated, so basically escaped an environment.
Got it. Man, and did you remember that stuff? Like,
don't remember any of it.
Don't remember any of it.
Don't remember any of it at all.
Man, crazy.
I just remember having a mother that came out here 20 years old with 2 kids, and us being fathers and stuff, and from a foreign country. And we started off on 39th in Vermont, worked our way up all the way to Santa Monica, right? As her jobs. She grew in her job, and till this day I still know how she did it, because I got a wife now with a kid, and I had my first one, Khalil, that you knew, that you coached at one point. Man, raising kids is hard.
Yeah.
A single mother with no college degree, you know, and turning into like one of the top executives at her firm. And we lived on the west side since I was a sophomore in college, right? Sophomore in high school. So phenomenal, man.
No, Outwork. Yeah. That's where it came from,
That's definitely where it came from.
No, that's dope, man. I love the origin stories of how, you know, what you stand for and who you are, and where that comes from is just having a strong mother who saw through.
It's crazy because she raised me. Obviously, I think I'm pretty successful in the basketball arena, and my brother's like one of the top money guys in the world. Like, he graduated Stanford, got his MBA, worked on Wall Street Fears. Now he Miami, 2 homes, and so coming from Belize with 2 kids and raising 2 successful young men and keeping us out of harm's way at the same time. Yeah. Because there was definitely harm's way. But phenomenal.
Man, that's awesome. When's the first time you played organized, structured basketball?
Organized, structured basketball. You referring to high school or just in general?
Just general, like Park and Rec even?
I started at, like I said, I started at Robertson Park. Back then it wasn't 11U, 12U, 13U, 14U. You signed up. If you was in elementary, you played elementary division. So if you're in first grade, you're playing third, fourth, fifth, sixth is what I remember. Then junior high went to ninth. So if you're in seventh and you played seventh, eighth, ninth. So I was always one of the youngest till today. Guys still tripping and like, man, that's because I always was a big kid. I stopped growing at 12, 13.
You've been this tall since 12?
13 to be exact. So
Wow.
I was always playing with the older guys. And so my first time playing, man, I was probably 8, 9. And it's not like it wasn't. I sat the bench for seasons.
For seasons?
Yeah.
Man.
Because, playing with dudes,
and
all the dudes I named was monsters. You get in but when my time came, it came.
Yeah.
And that's why these guys didn't realize how young I was, because when I got to high school and my buzz started carrying, I was like, hold on, you 16? You like, yeah, bro, they already graduated. But I was a young kid playing up, and then at the parks, I was first one at the gym. So now basketball was my savior in a sense. It taught me life.
Yeah.
Didn't have a father, so it taught me how to work hard, how to be responsible, how to fight for what I want, because the Robertson Park also had its elements.
Yeah.
So you got the drug dealers, the gangbangers, you got all that in this little small ass neighborhood. And then they all was at the park, man, you had to fight. So I'm the one on the court, they want to kick me. I'm fighting adults to play basketball, literally physically fighting. Back then, there's no social services coming. It's like you fighting. And then they start hooping, they kick me off the court. I shoot while they playing 5-on-5 till they finally allow me to play. Yeah, man, basketball saved me for real.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that part. Like I know a lot about that. I didn't know that part. That's dope.
Yeah.
So when you're a player developer now, so that was your player development, was literally going out there and hoop, or did you have somebody kind of guiding you through the
Didn't have
moves
anybody, brother.
and how did you get good? How did you learn how to play the game? Like, because you became this all-city player, all-state player. Where was that development?
My environment. In a lot of ways, when you grow up in environments like that, right, you got the bad. But the competition day in and day out was good. Like we played pickup back then.
Yeah.
And I had this in my head that no one was gonna stop me from this ball. So I had a philosophy at an early age. You'll hear 2 stories about Olin, right? You'll hear, man, like there's even articles calling me baby magic because I love to pass. Like in high school, I averaged 26, 12, and 6. But then you'll have other stories like, man, that dude don't pass. So depending on who you're talking to, you played with him in organized, you played with him at the park. Pickup to me was everybody in the court was a cone. So I shot every time. Or I had to create every time. But I was going to make something happen, 2 guys on. So I used live bodies as cones. But when I got in the game, I played it the right way. So you'll hear stories like, man, that dude don't pass. Then you'll hear a contradicting story. You can tell like, oh, you play with him pickup and you play with him in the park. But nah, man, I was blessed enough. So as my mother moved up, money got better. So she sent me and my brother to Magic Johnson camp early. Magic Johnson was my favorite player, still is, him not cold, but he always had points of emphasis, that he would, when he's talking at his camps and studying the game. So I studied. Back then you didn't have YouTube and all that, so you get the VHSs, and I studied. And then there was another thing that stayed with me that he said that still sticks with me till this day. And I tell my kids, he said, man, your girlfriend and your boys, if they don't come rebound for you, they're not your friends. And a lot of you guys like having girlfriends, so I'm gonna stick with that. Your girlfriend gotta come rebound for you. And so that taught me like no one can distract me from what I want. And so man, I ended up turning into a pretty good basketball player. Was getting recruited, was an under the radar guy too, because once again, I didn't know the AAU environment.
Right. So you didn't play AAU at all?
Didn't play AAU. I played Slam and Jam here and there. I played for this local AAU team called WNBA Spurs that a lot of us grew up in, It was big time. First of all, there wasn't a lot of AAU teams in the first place. Slam and Jam was the one. Then this guy met me at Magic Johnson camp. Jeff Perry, RIP. He ran a program called Westside Blazers out of the Hamilton area, Hamilton High School, which is down the street from Robinson Park. And he was the closest thing to a coach, mentor type. So I had him for 7th and 8th grade, getting ready for high school. Then when I got into high school, jumped around schools, wasn't playing basketball my first couple of years, got in some trouble. It just wasn't locked in. So his friend that played with me, Hamilton, got the job at Palisades. And he was like, would you go there? I'm like, who did they play? Westchester, Fairfax, Manual, Crunch. Yeah, I'm there.
Right.
So every time I stepped on the court, I'm playing against dudes.
Right.
My first high school game ever was against the Story Morningside team. The one that they did the film about with Dominique Ellison, Stace Bozeman, a few other guys. And I wasn't a name then, but I remember that game because my first game I had 37 and Stace Bozeman put my tooth through my lip. Grown man, he was a football All-American and a basketball he could win either way. Dominique was a monster, but they didn't know who I was then. And then every game we stepped on the court, it was like, oh, he's a McDonald's woman, he's this, because it was condensed too.
Yeah.
So that's how I started getting seen by coaches coming to see, back then high school was more prevalent, coaches come watch you play.
Right.
So, on the court, Westchester, they got players, Crenshaw players, Manual players, Fairfax players. That's our league every night. Our non-conference schedule, Artesia, Charles O'Bannon, Avondre Jones. Then you have the Loyolas. It wasn't as watered down in a sense it is now. So every time I stepped on the court, someone was being recruited that I went at. So my boss, my mom's boss, was a Michigan alum. He's like, man, we need him. So somehow we got in contact and I got invited to what was considered their elite camp at the time. And I was only West Coast kid, and it was me, Charlie Miller, who went to Indiana. I think it was Trajan Landon who went to Duke. They had Robert Tractor Trailer. He was a freshman. He was younger. And then they had a junior college All-American. So then at camp, we did our thing. But then at night, they keep us, and we played against, it's the off-season, so Chris Webber was in town, Jalen Rose was in town, Freddie Hunter, Rob Pelinka, who's now with the Lakers. So that's how I started getting seen, was just me going against dudes and just being in the right environment. But something happened my senior year that changed everything, and that's what got me. I was always passionate about the game, but when it was kind of taken away from me in a sense, still feel that today, that that's why I coach how I coach and I train how I train. There was a game, an incident that I had with my coach at the time, and I walked off the bench, sat in the stands. Needless to say, that gets out. It's not like now where social media, every game is being televised and you can kind of recoup. Perry Watson, there was Michigan assistant, was there. Steve Lapis, Villanova, they were on me, and I walked off the bench, sat in the stands in the middle of the game. Me and my coach got it. And
so what did you and your coach get into it about?
We still disagree about it to this day, but me and him we've never really spoken about it, right? And so what I did was wrong. I say that what I did was wrong. I also was a 16-year-old kid.
Right.
I was starting to get recruited my senior year because I only played my junior year and my senior. I didn't play.
You're a 16-year-old senior?
Yeah, and then turned 17 till the end.
Dang.
And so I started getting recruited. Teams are starting to come watch me play. And the tournament before, we had a point guard who decided not to do shoot around at lunch because he wanted to save his legs for our game. And we're in the St. Monica tournament. St. Monica tournament at the time was loaded. So coach finds out, I think it's Pacific, I can't remember. College was coming to see him.
Yeah.
And he wasn't going to start him. Then he started him, which I personally feel you should. You don't ever reprimand a kid that'll cost him an opportunity. So he starts him, which is cool. The following tournament we're in, I'm late to the meeting time for the game. And typically he picks me up. He'll call me, Olin, I'm coming for you, whatever. Today, if I want to ride, he should have called me. But what was going on my senior year was Palisades in years never had any player like me. Where now, back then, to go backwards. Back then, you had to score 25 a game, just get your last name in the back of the news sports section, like a little column. Man, I had about 6, 7, 8 articles. I could have brought them. Like, that wasn't happening. Like, I was the new face on the block. I was in LA Times, the Daily News, and Breeze. It was on. Like, I was getting talked about a lot, and we were beating teams. Like, we beat Manual Arts in league. People were jumping them down. Like, we just won state championship. Like, bro, it's a game. Like, but anyway, the point that I'm getting at is, so now, parents in the Palisades community, some of the local kids, and even a couple of my friends that went there that I went to middle school with, like an envy, jealousy thing started happening. And instead of him addressing the situation to me that's properly, like, he started messing with me my senior year to show everyone that he's not showing me favoritism. You pick him up. Well, I'm the first one in the gym. I'm the last one to leave. On the weekends, he used to pick me up to go play adult games with him with his friends at certain parks. So I lived in the gym. Why is Olin the only one that get talked about? Why is Olin this and that, this and that? He can't control what the media does. So now I remember this clearly. The writer from the Daily Breeze was like, yo, coach don't want me to come back unless I write about the team. I saw him at another game or something. I'm like, what? So things like that started coming out. So now fast forward to the tournament. He don't pick me up. Listen to all this, man. It's like, typically, if the situation is I call you, I wasn't entitled. I wasn't spoiled. I worked my ass off. You didn't address that. Yeah. So if Olin want to ride, he gonna call me today. Was basically my. So I'm sitting around, and my pregame was put a little magic in your game. VHS, his DVD. I watched every game with MC Breed in the head. Ain't no future in your front. That was my pregame, ready to rock, man. So I'm looking like, hold on, man. It's almost time to be at the gym. You didn't have cell phones and stuff like that back then. You know, beepers like that. He don't come get me. So I called my mom's office. Like, I ain't hear from coach. Coach, you know, she left work, take me to the tournament. So back then you come, city teams, we didn't get buses. Right. Find your way. So I still got there way before the game, but I didn't get there the time we're supposed to be there. I didn't get no indication I wasn't starting. Sitting on the bench, I see Perry. I see Steve sitting on the bench. Getting heated, right? But as I'm getting heated, I'm trying to figure out the tournament before the first game, teams was there. I came out, I didn't play well right away. So I'm thinking he sees that, he knows, let Olin sell his nerve. I'm thinking, I'm giving him every opportunity possible in my mind. Like, because now, my junior year, there was no attention on me. I just came out hammering. Yeah. Senior year, attention. So I'm thinking like, okay, maybe he's trying to make me breathe. And because he didn't tell me before the game, like, yo, you're late, I'm not starting you. Nothing.
No communication.
No communication. There's 3 minutes left in the half. Oh yeah, I got up, sat in the stands, and we never spoke about it. And I just said, bro, because most kids say, oh, coach did me dirty, coach did me dirty. Me walking off the bench was my mistake. 16-year-old kid though. Everything that you did, you didn't do with no one else. Right? Like, I would be in the office because once again, he took me home. Like, here, you're my coach. His parent walks in. I'm a ghost. Why is Olin the only one getting talked about? Olin's sitting here. And he's listening to, like, because he's the first one in the gym, the last one leaving. I didn't play unselfish, led the team in rebounding, led the team in assists, and was a high scorer. Like, I did everything. Yeah. But, so, when I talk about it, like, the thing that saved me, I'm not, you know me well. I love this game so friggin' much, bro. Like, I would probably be in a padded room with a straight Jackson if I didn't have Khalil literally a year and a half later. Because I had Khalil. Oh, so then after that happened, school stopped recruiting me. I came back a month later. My mother was like, he stopped picking me up for school. That wasn't getting bussed in. So I missed expository comp every day. So when school started coming back, I didn't graduate. I didn't pass senior English. But I had SATs at the time was what, 1,200 or 1,600. But I had a high SAT score. I didn't have a diploma. Wow. And so I said, man, I'm through with basketball. I moved in. After that, I kind of moved in with the girl I was dating at the time and her family for a little bit, and Marvin Menzies. I don't know if you remember Marvin Menzies, coach of San Monica College, went on to New Mexico State, UNLV. I don't know, he got the phone number, man. Call me. I need you at San Monica College. I'm like, nah, I'm done basketball. I'm done with it. So he called me. I checked in late. Me and Gumby. Gumby was already a sophomore year. Gumby, Westchester, LA legend. Ricky Brown, All City at Fremont. Davey Fortson, RIP, passed away. Sophomore year. Semi was All City, All State at Dorsey. We had a whip. So I went there, my freshman year and started regaining that love again. But then boom, girlfriend pregnant. Had to sit out a couple years. After that, basketball was just to, get in school and you know what I'm saying, take care of my son. But when I walked off the bench, my senior year, I knew in that moment I wanted to coach. That's that moment, like when I'm all done, I didn't know my plan would be done as early as it was. I want to coach. I want to coach and mentor the 16-year-old Olins. And so, yeah, man, that's where the coaching and thing evolved from. Because I never thought that I just, you young, you getting all this success, you playing against the best. My tangibles, my measurements, everything fit. I'm 6'3", 185, 190 as a point guard.
With a strap.
Yeah, like everybody,
Man.
I was like, oh, yeah, I'll be playing this game for a minute. But things happen. And like I said, I had Khalil a year later, and I think that saved me because even though my freshman year was going well, going good, it wasn't 100% like, was. But yeah, man, looking back on it, things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's thank you for sharing all that, by the way.
Not too many people know it.
Well, everybody gonna know it now.
Yeah.
So, no, this is good. And I knew that story. You told me this story.
Right.
It's I think it's so important for coaches to understand the impact they have on kids. Like it even forced you to the point where you knew, like, oh, I want to be a coach because I don't ever want to be the person that he was to you in that moment, even though he supported you, and then to lose that support. You see it now when parents, like, if their kid's not performing, they walk out the gym, or they ain't playing, so they don't come to the games. Like, that stuff is so weird to me when adults make emotional decisions about their kid participating in what's just a game. It's a game. Yes, it teaches us stuff and it's important, but it's just a game at the end of the day. And not seeing the psychological effect that had on you, to where this thing that saved your life, 10 years before, is now like you want nothing to do with it. But you love hoop. So it wasn't that you fell in love with hoop. Fell in love with the people who were supposed to support you.
And as we're talking about it, till this day, when I coach hard. And I coach hard because it can be taken away from me blink of an eye. And a lot of times, like even now, I started a little 12U program. We'll go backwards, but this helps jump. And some of the parents don't like how I coach, or they think I'm unfair, or they think not unfair, I'm too hard. And one thing I've learned in my years of coaching, if I'm too hard, your kid wouldn't play with a certain level of confidence. Once I see your kid, because like you said, we do have a psychological effect on kids. If I see your kid playing a certain way, that's not how he's typically playing, now I got to look inward. Because one thing I won't do, or I hope not to do, and so people will say, man, why do you worry about what these parents say? Because what happened to me. When a parent tells me that I'm killing his kid's confidence, yet that kid just shot 7 threes and made them, it don't equate to me. When a parent tells me I'm killing a kid's confidence, he's throwing no-look, one-hand passes through traffic. It don't equate. No, I'm holding your kid accountable, and that's what's not happening today. Like, I'm never going to kill a kid's confidence. That's not, if I'm doing it, I'm mad enough to, that's not what I got into this for. So to my 12U team, I'll get conversations from parents in my little circle all the time. We have 4 11-year-olds, 3 starting. In 12U, you know what that means, right? There's probably older than 12U on that. Yeah. We're 5 months in. We made it to the championship and made hoops. How am I? We're probably the youngest team and the newest team, yet we can't focus on that. It's back to what you said. It's everything is so emotional, and it's right now, and it's right now, and it's right now, and they don't see the journey. That's why I like the movie we discussed. But then when I get criticized, like Mike Law comes to our games, he has family members on the team and say, man, you're doing a good job, man. Don't worry, don't listen to the parents. But that switch hit because it happened to me.
Yeah.
And so I take that shit home. And my wife like, don't, babe, like, no. So it's what you just said, even as a coach, I know coaches' responsibilities. So when someone makes that accusation, I take that shit personal.
Yeah.
I don't get mad about it. I got to explain myself. We got to talk. And it's like, bro, your kid just hit 7 threes. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
How does that make sense to you? Your kid is doing all this between 2-3 guys. If I'm killing kids coming, they're playing like robots.
Yep.
They're overthinking. They're not. We know this as basketball players. I know what freedom looks like when kids are playing. So that was a great point you brought up because now that's the coaches, right? You know, it's about enlifting and empowering and then holding accountable. You know what I mean? It's but that don't mean don't be hard.
No, I think accountability to today's parents or kids looks like a corporal punishment or something.
Right.
Like they think that's the worst thing in the world for you to yell at their kid and
Right.
tell them that they're doing something wrong.
Right.
That's not confidence killing because you back in the gym with them
Right.
at the beach workouts.
Right.
You got a young boy. You got I was king 3, and you go to Made Hoops on the weekend, like spending time with other people's kids when you have no kids on the team. And so don't say I'm not invested. Like, see where my heart is. It's different if you were just transactional
Right.
and there was no real relationship.
Right.
I think parents have to really see who their coach is and what they're doing and do a better job of listening to what the process is.
Right.
You train NBA all-stars. Like, you obviously know how to get there. And so they have to take off those parent goggles for a minute and see like, oh, he's a mentor to my son, and not listen to always the delivery, right? Because everybody delivers stuff different, right? I don't cuss when I coach. You cuss when you coach. It is what it is. I want my kid to have both. I told my wife, like, hey, my son, he's going to grow up in the night. He's going to go to Shepherd Church at first for 10 years. And then I'm sending him to Olin because he need that too. I need him to throw up in his workout. I need him to get cussed at. I need him to feel terrible. So he knows what he can get through. Like, he needs to go through some trauma in his life because he didn't grow up like you. Like, you had a chip on your shoulder because of how you were raised. My son ain't going to deal with none of that. So, guess what? He going to go to Olin to feel what he felt through how he trains.
And the crazy part of all this, man, there's only 450 dudes that play this game.
Man, what?
So when I'm coaching your kid, bro, I'm not coaching any kid to be an NBA player. I'm coaching to be a successful person because basketball taught me how to be, I got deficiencies, you know that. I had you try to help me out years going, structure, organization, this, that. But basketball taught me how to work hard. I've reinvented myself probably 200 times since I've been on this journey. And still somehow remain, kind of relevant. So, to your point, it's like you have someone that doesn't have a kid on the team. You have Jamal Crawford, that's a former NBA guy. They just put out a post literally the night he was done with Made Hoops, coaching, and talking about there's so many ills about AAU, but the biggest one is parents.
Yes.
And me and him were supposed to, like I said, get on the show and talk about it because I told him I want to be part of that. But you look at my resume, your resume, his resume, and parents still can't be happy. It's getting scary.
It is.
And I'm not going to throw a kid, I'm not going to say a name under the bus, but because I do this for the kids, I'm going to talk about a scenario and they're probably going to know who I'm talking about. Because I hope he's no longer playing with us, made a decision, mutual decision that this was his last weekend with us. But new family, kid right now is about 5'10"-ish, can shoot it, but couldn't really move his feet laterally. And my goal for him is preparing for high school, like all my kids. Right now you're 5'9", 5'10", but next year you might be the same height. Your older brother 6'1", your dad about 6 feet, your mom 5'6". You're big now. And he started getting a little buzz with us. And what happens, teams DMs and do all that. I'm worried for this kid because his parents are listening to everybody outside. And he's the same one that they say that Achilles constantly made 7 threes in the game. And whenever he leaves a game, he has a complaint. And he's 11, 12. And he'll go tell his family, and right away they take it all in. They don't look at dad could be sitting at the game and see that my son is shooting the most shots and will still be unhappy because the kid's unhappy, instead of saying, yo, what are you talking about? You're not holding him accountable. What you're doing is you're setting up an entitled kid.
Yeah.
And it's going to harm him. He literally told one of my parents that, yeah, I'm a 5-star now. Everybody wants me. Bro, you're 12 years old.
12-year-old?
Yeah,
I didn't know they had stars. That's wild.
And the only reason I'm putting this on camera is not to hopefully
help
they
these people.
listen.
Yes.
Because I'm not trying to get them back. I haven't called. Like it's not about wherever you go next, please figure it out, because end of the day, I care about all the kids. It ain't just kids that wear my jersey that I care about. I care about all the kids. But I've helped kids get scholarships I've never met. I remember I was helping out Program A. I don't want to say names because, and this one kid, whenever we saw him, gave us 30, 40. We had 7 Division I dudes on that team, 5 in the NBA.
We know who it is now.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
we know who it is. And this video went viral because he walked into the huddle and challenged everybody to a one-on-one. But from afar, people thought he was challenging him to a fight. I thought so too, because I didn't sit on the bench. I just helped train the program in springs and summer. And what I found out is one of our players told me, man, you don't have a Pac-12 offer yet, or D. I remember what it was, Pac-12 or D1. And when I'm like, he don't have a what? I called Cal, I called all these different schools. And I fought them to like just hit the kid up, like, well, what's his story? What's gonna happen? I said, I don't know. He don't play for me. I don't train him. I'm just telling you, he plays on Program B, they're reputable, but they're not national, and that's probably why he doesn't have a name. So that tells me the kid is loyal. So if he's loyal, you the first phone call to offer, maybe he commits. And I said, that's the only thing I know about him. He could be on any other program. Kid is phenomenal. Program A called. He committed the next day and was their best player for a couple of years. Then he transferred to a different school. But the point I get to that is like, bro, I didn't even know the kid. But I've done that, and that's what we're supposed to do.
Thank you.
We're all caught up in this.
People try to get power. They try to have influence. My kid.
Right.
Talk about what they did. And that's literally why we have this show, is that we all are here for the same purpose, or we should be, or the ones that are invited to this show are. Because I want the parents to hear the real. Somebody who's been through it, and why you coach and train the way you do, because people don't know your story and where that comes from, so they can understand that the earlier your kid goes through some adversity and is able to get over it, the more success they're going to have. I would love for a successful parent to come to me and say, oh, I never faced any adversity and I'm successful.
Most definitely.
It's 100% impossible.
Most
You
definitely.
faced some type of adversity where you were either broke, trauma, something happened where that catapulted you to your level of success. And so that's what we're trying to give these kids. But through basketball, we ain't talking about they got to run from gangs and have, focus or get away from drug addiction. No, we just talking about basketball.
Man, it's crazy, bro. Like the best email I've ever had. My program training started in Palisades. Funny, the same coach that I had an issue with high school saw that I started training. I'll tell that whole story. I'll tell how I got into training in a second, because I think that's a great story too. That's a really good story, by the way. And so I was, trying to find spaces and places. So man, he, then SoCal Form. I forget what that thing was. SoCal Hoops. SoCal Hoops.
Yeah.
You didn't have to put your face. You have to do this. People used to talk crazy about. It was nuts.
SoCal Hoops is fun.
But then it also put out there who the trainers are when you was looking for one. And my name was starting to come up. So the coach at Palisades reached out to me, man, if you ever need gym time, let me know. I said, that'd be great. But, that's the one thing I had an issue with. But I didn't have an issue. I always forgave him, because, let me get that started away. His first year coaching was my first year playing. So he was learning as he went on.
Dealing with entitled parents too. You touched on that a little bit. The parents coming in, why is he getting all this attention? And the Palisades in the area, like that demographic, it means something. So
for
I
sure.
Definitely want to talk about that too. But go ahead.
No, we get back to that. But he was my homie too. When you look back at it, you can't be your player's homie.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is we was boys. Man, I'm playing games, halftime on the tunnel. He getting cheerleaders for me. But so then next thing you know, now you're trying to be my disciplinarian the following year. It's a huge switch, but anyway, we can get back to that. But anyway, he called me back, and said, man, if I coach, he give me gym time on the weekends free. So I'm at Palisades. So I put my son in the local league anyway. But the story I'm getting at, I had one kid that started playing me 6th, 7th, 8th, training and stuff. He chose the wrong high school for basketball. He chose Windward. At the time, Windward was a hotbed. I think he could have played throughout high school. After sophomore year, he was done playing.
Like, stop playing basketball?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't make varsity or whatever it was. His career didn't go on. But so 6 years later, I get an email, a LinkedIn message. I need to go find it. Kid name is David Oladort, one of my hardest working kids. Just didn't even he could have played high school somewhere. Sometimes you choose as far as athletically. I'm paraphrasing because this was years ago. Comes from Palisades, right? Probably has a good situation set up for him regardless of what he does in life. I'm assuming, right? Parents, money, insurance, whatever. He's probably settled. So he goes to Penn or Penn State, one of those good schools. And basically he told me, man, he thanked me for how hard I was and how hard I trained him because the things he learned through he said, my basketball career didn't go as long as, we would have hoped. But the things that you taught me helped me get through these hard nights at Penn State and homework and this. And I'm graduating and I just secured like a nice 6-figure job. Here's a kid that already had it made and he needed some of that, let's get in the sand and run. Because when I was coaching at Pally Rec, they never seen nothing like me before. Right. There's days we sacrifice gym time. Like, no, we're not touching it. We're going right there in the sandbox. So we're doing sprints while all the little kids are playing on it. And they're like, yo, this coach is crazy. But all them kids, and that's how my little program Palisades, because I had kids now driving up PCH that never seen the water from the city. And then you mix that with the Palisades kids that want to work hard. And then that's where BFT became a big thing. But anyway, that was one of the best. Because here's a kid, like you said, he had it all, but probably needed that push that you said too, and so, when you sent me that LinkedIn message, I was like, wow, that was pretty dope. That felt good because I know what I'm doing for kids that don't have. If they go to college, it's a success. If they get a scholarship now for high school, that's a success.
Yes.
Here's a kid that already probably had money set up for him when he was doing it, that it was exactly what I did it for. It wasn't just basketball. Exactly what it was about, teaching how to get after it when you don't want to. Wow. Throwing that alarm clock to the side. Don't snooze it. Get up and go. And bro, it was cool.
Full circle moment. No, that's what it's about, man.
Out of nowhere, I get a LinkedIn message. I'm like, bro, that was.
Go find that message. Go
I
frame
got
it.
to. I got to. It's easy to find it.
Yep.
I got to pull it up.
So you talked about how you got into training. So let's come back to that story.
So how I got into training, back in the day, there wasn't training. You coached.
Yep.
And so now, let's get on when I had Khalil, got back in school, went to Trade Tech several years later, D1 clock already ticking, but I had just got a scholarship to UC Riverside, chose UCR because I had family in Moval, tell me with K. So that summer, when I was doing my sophomore year at Trade Tech, I got invited to play on my national team, Belize. This is the first time Belize ever reached out to players in the States to represent the country like most countries do. So, I'm at Westwood Rec, get my workout in, just it's down the street from the house. And this little short white guy came, kicked me off the court, respectfully, John Fisher. Respectfully. So, I was back then, had a routine. Post-workout stretch. It was probably my third workout day. We used to hit the Santa Monica stairs, lift, and hitting the course. It was an afternoon time. So I'm getting me a good stretch in. So I see a little small team walk in. I'm like, let me see what they're about while I'm stretching. I see a team that's a little older. John's known for back then. He didn't believe, back then, at first one, 12U, 13U, I don't remember that. I know he always played 2 grades up. Like he always played. And so, man, his little team, kicking the older team butt, like destroying them. He had 2 players on there that stood out. So right before halftime, one of the bigger kids elbowed the point guard. So I said, shit, let me see how he gonna respond. Mind you, I'm thinking of my story. Never lose this, right? So halftime coming. Back then, 2-3 minutes, so it ain't long. He was done second half. Like frustrated, done, was play with attitude. So I was trying to find a way, you don't play with people's kids. It's kind of weird, it's strange. Like, I want to go up to some kid I don't know. So I finally said, there's no angle for me to talk to him. So I packed my bag up, start walking. I happened to be at the water fountain, I'm walking by. Just happened to be, I basically told him, I said, bro, don't ever let anybody take this from you. Because once you lose this, it's over. Right? Don't ever. I said the first half you was absolutely dominant, and I saw the elbow. And you allowed that to frustrate you, and you was out your element the whole time. John happens to see the talk. I didn't know he saw. He was like, hey, what did you? I said, basically told him real quick, don't ever let no kid, take this from you or what have you. He's like, yeah, man, that's great. He's like, man, I know your story. You're a really good basketball player. I'm like, nah, thanks. Like, yeah, he's like, would you ever want to come talk to the kids sometime? I'm like, yeah, sure. Because remember, at 16, I knew this was something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So talk to, I would think, at some point. What are you doing tonight? I said, nothing. I'm done for the day. Go home, play with my baby. You want to come talk to the kids? I was like, where? Uni. I was like, Uni right down the street. Easy. That kid happened to be Gabe Pruitt. Trevor Reese was on that team. So it went from that to I showed up to when I came back for Belize this summer, he basically handed me that team. And so I trained and coached that team. Then I went to college, got my degree in kinese, still played. When I was done.
UCR?
Yeah, UCR. And then when they just went D1, so we was on that probationary period.
Got you.
And so when my D1 ran out, because I went to Cal Bap down the street. Cal Bap had kinese, so I went from Soch to kinese at Cal Bap. So when I came back during the summers, John still had me working. So I had that team, there was the puppies. So then I got into the kinese, strength conditioning, what have you, personal training. He helped me with my resume, but somebody that worked for him, gosh, I'm going blank because the guy used to own the Milwaukee Brewers and Milwaukee Bucks. His son played it, I think Crespi, little guard. I hate that I forget.
Not wrestler.
No.
Okay.
No.
Not Campbell Hall.
Wrestlers, Campbell Hall. Helped me get a job at the time, Sports Club LA, the biggest gym, Snap. So now I'm doing strength and conditioning there, coaching with John. And then I just became really close with Trevor and Gabe. So I coached, but we would work out.
Yeah.
And so, but John Fisher's who got me into coaching. So yeah, and then the first group of kids I worked with was two dudes that turned out to be pros that I helped work out through high school and college. So yeah, it was nuts, and I started my own program, obviously. But yeah, me sharing a talk with a little kid at the water fountain helped propel me into the space I wanted to be in.
Yeah.
So because I saw someone took that away from him, and that's one thing that's very important. Like it's back to coaching and mentoring, right? We tell kids all the time. That's why I'm also passionate about it. We tell kids all the time. The game is 90% mental. So if it's 90% mental, why do we kill their confidence if 90% of the game is that part?
Yeah.
So that's another reason I take it. Because once again, if my team wasn't performing and they was playing nervous, we wouldn't be in May Hoops Championship playing against teams been together forever with 4 11-year-olds, 3 in the starting 5. Right? Like, one of them actually belong in the 5th grade. My point guard should be a 5th grader. He won't turn 12 till next year. And he gets my wrath. Like, he gets, because I'm a point guard guy.
Yeah.
Like you are the head of the snake. And we made it to the Made Hoops Championship. And in 6 or 7 tournaments, we won 3, lost 1 at the buzzer, went to the Final Four in a couple. And I don't collect trophies. I give it to them. When we done, your trophy's yours. Like, y'all switch around. I don't do it for that. But it's at one point, Made Hoops, the one thing I was proud of, like you won't even see that I haven't posted, is we were number 1 in defensive rating in all of Made Hoops, and we play man, no zone. So that's another thing. I got that kid, the other kid I was telling you about, I'm challenging the guard.
Yeah.
Because with the team I have him and another big kid from my assembly. If I sat in the zone, it'd be hard to score on us. Because I got some length, some athleticism, but no, them two got to figure out how to guard too and switch and all that, because who's to say they're going to keep growing?
Yeah.
So I'm challenging them for what their head coach and what they need, not what I need.
Yeah.
But yeah, we ended, because a couple tournaments we struggled, because we got another kid, mid-sized kid, actually Cash, he goes to your program.
Oh, yeah.
He's been playing like 4 or 5, I think, his whole life prior to us. So I got 3 dudes that play big and trying to figure out man on in guard and switch. And at first it was a struggle. We was in rotation the whole game. Teams been together, pass, cut, got us You know, we getting hit in the head with threes and back doors. And I could say, you know what, man, this is a big team. We're going to send 2-3. So I'm challenging your kid for what's beneficial for him.
Yes.
But yet, you're mad at me.
Because middle school, 6th grade basketball is where it's at. That's where the college coaches recruit you. That's where the NBA scouts are.
Right.
That's where they're made.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's insane, brother.
No.
It's insane.
Man, I'm just going to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, man, because the right people are going to come to you, right? It's just like you have the right heart, and you have gay fruit at a water fountain. It's the same thing. The right kids are going to come to you, and the impact that you have on their life are going to be, you know, you already got guys who train from a young age that are in the NBA. So you've seen it happen. You know what that looks like. But you also have guys who stop playing basketball who are successful, and that's all that matters. And what everyone else says, and how as delusional as some parents can be about a sport that most of them have never played or are not experts in, doesn't matter at the end of the day. Yesterday, I'm at a state regional final game. Game is over. Team got whooped. Okay, they got beat. The kid who actually played the best for the team that lost, and nobody else could score in this game. 2 players scored. It wasn't until 5 minutes left in the game that someone else had another field goal for that team, and everybody was off except for this kid had 25. And I'm in the locker room just hanging out. Come out. Dad is grilling him about finishes. Like the season's over. Like junior season is over.
Right.
I'm like,
right.
I was like, are we really talking about basketball right now?
Right.
I literally said this. I'm like, are we really talking about basketball right now? Like, give him 24 hours at least, man.
Right.
And like, what are we doing?
Right. I have a 24 to 40 hour window that I'm okay with 11, 12 you parents calling me, but they don't realize that's also me trying to school them. Ain't no coach listening to you right away. No. So I have a 24 to 48 hour rule that I implement. Don't hit me. Don't. I have a couple of texts I haven't even opened up yet that was sent Sunday night. And so then he ain't respond. Well, you didn't wait till 48 hours. But it ain't about me. I got 8 kids on the team, man. It's 12 you, but I'm also trying to school the parents so they don't mess it up for their kids when they get there. Yes. And they don't get that part. Yeah. Like, bro, this ain't about me. I can stop doing. I'm actually losing coaching this team, being gone New Year's Eve in Sacramento. That's where I spent my New Year's Eve, cow tipping country. You know what I mean? Like, me and my wife decides to come. We go to Seattle. The following thing, rainy as shit. Like, my wife comes, like, support, right? Like, I am away, bro, before Christmas, the week before Christmas, she has a retreat. All expenses paid to Laguna Niguel, huge resort her boss paid for. Family retreat for the office. We got our own little villa, like sweet, overlooking the ocean. I can only enjoy it for 6 hours. Friday, we get there Friday night because I got to get up at 4 to get on a 6 a.m. flight to friggin' go to Arizona. And I'm sitting here dealing with madness. While my family, I'm leaving Christmas stuff, I'm leaving New Year. And y'all give it, and we're winning.
I'm making shirts, and we could partner on this. Shut up and parent. That's
right.
Man,
look, bro.
What is happening, man?
Bro, it's getting worse, dog. It's getting so bad. It's like, yeah. And when I did this, I didn't get into this to have some phenomenal 12U team. I had few families that I've been training for a while. I said, man, let's do it. They weren't happy with their situations. That's a red flag, I guess, looking at it now, right?
Yeah. Hey, you see, I don't touch it.
Right, so then we put it together. I'm thinking, it's going to be sweet. Man, it's been the hardest. Yeah, it's getting a little better, but it's been hard, bro. Yeah. It's been hard because it's like, eliminate me. If I had you coaching my son at 11, 12, bro, like, that's a blessing. I have somebody at that level coaching my son at 11, 12.
It's crazy.
That's in the gym all summer, not a volunteer dad, not some dude off the street that looking at it like I'm trying to evolve a kid so I can eventually get money somehow back down the road. And I'll sit in the gym, and I'm not knocking any person that's volunteer. I tell my kids all the time, look in this gym. There's not a coach in there that can touch me, and I don't have a kid on this team. And I'm still getting madness. So here's the funny thing, too. I pose this question to my kids, and somehow that other kid's family took it far left. What your dad do for a living? What your mama do for a living? What your doctor? Oh, so I'm gonna show up at her job tomorrow, tell her how to surgeon. Oh, dentist? I'm gonna show up to how to do some too. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like,
Yep. I ask that all the time.
yeah. But somehow, why you ask? That's so unprofessional. The same kid that left.
Is it?
I'm like, what?
Is it?
Then I told the kids, while I'm coaching you, listen to me, not your parents.
Yep.
They had an issue with that.
I told
Bro,
I had my sixth
I
grade.
didn't say when you at home doing homework. It's like,
I announced before the game we had our sixth grade team play our seventh grade team, right? I got all the parents saying, oh, thank you guys. This is amazing that we get to play this together. I'm just letting you guys know now. I told your kids if they look at you during this game that I'm taking them out of the game and it's because I love them and I'm here for them. And so just letting y'all know that they need to hear our voices as coaches.
right.
So just so y'all know, if y'all say anything and try to coach them besides encouraging and cheer, I will sit them down and they won't play for the rest of the game because of you.
Right.
I didn't have one problem.
Yeah, I probably got to do that.
No, and
But that's your school. You see them every day.
I do,
And they're part
but
of your
I don't coach them. This is like, so we did a little. It was like an inter squad game, right, for heritage, and so but they were there, and it was a real game. We had referees. It was competition, but I let them know. But I would do that as a high school coach. If I hear you, your behavior in the crowd impacts your kids' playing time. Because that's what's going to happen is you're going to listen to you and you're going to impact him in the game when I'm trying to tell him to do something and you're sitting there telling him to shoot and that's not what we're doing. It's like he's going to hear you because you're his parent. I want him to hear you more actually. But that's why you can't say anything during a game. It's tough, man.
It's insane. So yeah, man, trying to figure it out. And the reason I got back into this when I said, you know what, let's do it. I had saw one of these, I don't know if it's Ball is Life, one of them media outlets. They wired a 10-year-old kid while he was hooping. This was like 2 years ago. Mic'd him up. I was like, bro, what are we doing, dog? And this kid was so ignorant, talking trash, doing this, that. And for me, talking trash, it means you're highlighting it. I'm like, bro, what are we on? He's friggin' 10.
Yeah, they're there for the media, though. I don't even, that stuff is.
Yeah, but now it becomes the wave.
Yeah.
You know, it goes viral. Everyone wants to go viral. Like even this NIL space, right? It's like, it makes me nervous because everyone's going to forget the main thing is the main thing. That NIL thing is short-lasting if you don't do what you're supposed to do.
Right. It's only 1% of kids that get NIL deals like that. It's low, too.
Right. And then people think it's more than what it actually is. And so, but yeah, this game, basketball, and I know other sports have their thing, but basketball is the one area everyone don't need a prerequisite. Anyone come off the street and say, hey, I'm a basketball coach trainer.
Yep.
If you did football, you're going to a football coach, a quarterback coach. Like you going to tennis, soccer, volleyball, baseball. You're not going to do the Twitter handle that's hot. It's the only sport that you can do that. Like some random dude off the street can say, hey, I'm a coach/trainer.
Yep.
I think we were talking before, this is a good segue into it. Before it's about certification. Yes. I thought the USA certification stuff will help, but you can't control basketball because it's also a sport that you can do by yourself. Like you go to the park to shoot. You can't do volleyball by yourself. You can't do, but yeah, man, having a certification would be great. It's just how do you do it? You know what I mean?
I think it comes to the real basketball people getting together and making it a thing. I think what's happening with the Nike USA basketball and all that getting on the same page, like they're all combining. Like Made Hoops is gone now, right? That was the last Made Hoops that was a Nike sponsored thing. Right. Now you have EYBL Junior, and they're trying to say, hey, these are the qualified people to do these things. And getting your license gets you in certain arenas. I think the more and more travel teams over time, it's just like rec ball now. That's what it's going to come to. It's like what rec ball was for us growing up. And then you're going to see the more serious teams get opportunities that these other teams don't get and get the players and parents and coaches that are serious about it.
But that still don't fix the overall approach because it's just going to be the top teams. There's only so many top teams. Nike's just not going to stamp
Right. Well, no, there's
X,
street,
Y,
but there's
X, Y,
so
Z.
soccer has licenses, right? You got to have to get a license to go coach soccer.
Right.
But there's still street soccer. That's what these little tournaments that you see every weekend at some of these event venues. That's what it's gonna become. Like that's what it became in August. Remember, they about to probably do it again, where all the rappers had their own little teams, like glorified pickup ball, and that's cool. That's gonna be for the media. It's gonna be for the show. It's not gonna be for the people who have these NBA dreams. There's a route to do that, and I think it's happening more and more. You see guys like you, people who are doing the real training. You guys, your vets are full. Like all your time is on the court all day, so they're going to the right places. It's just the other part is mentorship, right? How many people have we developed under us to train the right way? That's what I did. Man, you taught me how to train. Joe Abunasar taught me how to train. Chris Johnson taught me how to train. I watched all the Drew Hanlon stuff before I really start putting my own stuff out there because I'm like, there's people that are better than me. Like, let me go learn from them. And there's a process to that too, and a mentorship program, which, there's certifications for that now too. But I think it's happening. It's just gonna hit a bump in the road where the fake stuff is gonna have to stop, or people are gonna recognize it very quickly.
And you're referring to training, though.
Training and coaching. I think it's all in the same realm, right? Because this is what happens: a trainer turns into a trainer turned into a coach. Because the kids, 10 years I've done core, never coached coached AAU, but every year, coach, when you gonna coach us? When you gonna coach us? I'm not. Go play for the U. Go play for some people who are doing this already or a high level. And
I think where it'll help, honestly, I don't know if it helps the culture more so than it helped the actual trainer coach. Here's why: because you still have that demographic, which is large demographic. Basketball is all over the place. If I'm certified, that allows me to put a certain price tag on it. Right? So it's like back in the day, fitness. You just went to the biggest dude in the gym. But the thing with fitness is that you got hurt right away. So, I ain't going to him no more. Yesterday, my back hurting the next day, or my shoulder. But you used to go to the biggest dude in the gym. Then there was a requirement. You had to get certified to work for gyms. You should have trainers that train outdoors, that train in private facilities. All you do is pay the insurance. I don't know if you have to show certification. So you still have that demographic. But if you're certified, you charge a certain amount, right? But with strength and fitness, what I'm getting at is you learn right away. Oh, this ain't the right way of doing it by how you feel 2 days later, right? Basketball, you don't know the truth, that if someone is teaching you the truth, until you match up with somebody who's been doing it the right way later on in life. I do think having more and more guys certified and having to do these certain steps will benefit it, but it doesn't benefit the culture, I don't think.
Gotcha.
Parents can still choose who they want to go to. I'm going to go to him, still the mom and pop dude that has a hot Twitter handle. I ain't going to pay them fees. Then second, it's not the kids that's killing the culture. It's the parents. I think, and maybe it'll trickle down, and maybe they'll start something and I'm not knocking made hoops, EYBL and all that. That prices people out too. Them shits is expensive. But I think if you're going to do that, and they have the resources to do that, dip in that budget a little bit. So say if my team has to pay a certain amount to each, how back in the day when you had to coach NCAA tournament, you had to go watch the video, LexisNexis, whatever, and get. I think the parents need to have a psychological course with a certified person in order for their kids to play in these high-level events. It won't affect all the other tournaments, but slowly, I think that may, when you start seeing people make that a demand, like EYBL, you should have your parents, instead of the players having to watch the NCAA stuff, while they're watching it, the parents in another room having to watch, or having like how you bring different people to your
that's
core.
what it's built for parent education at the end of the day.
But even the core, you bring. Sometimes I see you bring motivational speakers, you bring psychs, you bring life coaches. I think the parents, that would be something Nike and them, because they got all the money. I don't see myself doing made hoops again. Like I thought it was like it's a money grab.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't the best put together thing out there. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
You know, to be doing all that. We do that right here in LA. The competition's there. I don't know why we need to travel to go do that. I guess the kids want to hear the write up on made hoops and all that, but they're making a killing doing this. And so if you're making a killing, invest it back.
Yeah.
Keep your money like, okay, well, we're going to do something different. We all know the parents. So if your team, the core team, this, you know, just making up team, whoever represent that child, they need to do a 2-hour, when they get to our location, we should have something there set up for them to go sit and whatever that terminology is, sportsmanship, whatever.
Yep.
And you know, because it is bad, man. It is bad. It is bad, bro. I had one game, and I got out of character. We're losing to Paul George, and Paul George has 4 teams in one. Complex, Paul George, Cali Go, and we've all played them teams independently.
Yeah. Right.
And we've done pretty good. It's our kids. So they kicking ass, like one session, you know. Dad is walking on the court, bro, filming the score in front of my kids. Like, so I just told him, man, see you in 2 years. But then it kind of escalated to something else. Because I'm worried about high school. But like, my kids just lost. You're walking on the court, filming the score, and it's like, you're so caught up in this, and that's where the kids get it from.
Yeah.
You celebrate more than your kid is about beating us, but you're rubbing it in my kid's face. I'm gonna stand up for my kids.
11-year-olds.
Right.
12-years.
Right. And so it escalated to something else, and you know, people had to be broken up. But I felt bad about that part. But all I told them was, see you in a couple years, bro. See you when it matters. I know what my kids gonna be.
Right.
I know what they gonna be. All of them.
Yeah.
They stay this, I know what they're gonna be. I ain't worried about this right now. And so another dad saw me and thought I said, and then I was like, did you hear what I said? And who, you talking to me? He jumped up, and then, you know, and it escalated someplace I didn't want it to go. When they found out what I was annoyed by, even the head coach was like, yeah, no, that wasn't cool. But once again, like, the parents is the problem, bro.
Yeah.
It's insane.
All we can do is pray.
Yeah.
And keep doing what we doing.
Pray,
but
bro.
no, that I think it's a great conversation. It's an amazing conversation, man. I would love to be a part of that conversation if you and Jamal have it ever, and dive into that, because that is my biggest thing. This is literally why I have this show. I'm writing a book right now focused on what to expect in basketball. There's no blueprint for this. It's like we know it, me and you, but a parent really can't pick up a book and say, oh, this is how I navigate grassroots basketball. This is how I navigate high school in Southern California or wherever you're at. And we on the same page. Like, these parents need that. They need to be held accountable, so we can hold their kids accountable like they're supposed to for the next thing. But I do want to hop to the next subject. Man, you've taken a kid and trained him from a young age and getting to the NBA. Mm-hmm. So you've seen that, right? So we're talking about the way that you shouldn't be doing this as parents. What is the way that you could, or you're supposed to do this as parents to see your kid reach the highest level? So, yeah, Spencer, when did you start training Spencer?
It's funny. All the kids I had, Gabe, Spencer, and Trevor at the same age, 10, 11.
Okay.
So you got them right.
Kids now.
Yeah, 10, 11, right before really middle school, elementary, right? And with all of those three, look, I know not too many people can say they've developed 3 pros from 11. And back then, training wasn't what it was. So 3 pros where they primarily saw you, not you and multiple people. Support. All the families that support stayed out my way. Trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Trevor's mom, Lolita, would give me her truck to go pick him up, you know, when he was in high school, pick him up.
She didn't sit in on the sessions?
No.
And record them?
No.
Oh, okay.
Spencer's dad would come. Spencer's dad just loved being around basketball.
Right.
But there was also times where, you know, he wasn't there. Gabe Pruitt family, same way. Like, weren't overbearing, trusted the process. And that's the biggest thing, right? We provide a service. You hire us. You can always change service, but if you hired the service, why are you so overly involved?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
You tell your gardener exactly how to cut your grass.
right? Like, so if you don't trust the service, take your resources somewhere else. But if you trust it, sit still. And because what tends to happen is, now we get into the mental health part, and a lot of people don't realize that parents, in a lot of aspects, are part of these kids, why they are anxious. And the expectations from 11, the stuff that I've seen a parent tell a kid, I will punch your face out if you don't do this. He's fucking 10. That you guys are making basketball their identity.
Yeah.
Like once again, I don't want to, Oakwood, coaching high school now. We've had a couple exit meetings, and basically a couple players have told our coaching staff that they didn't have a great experience at Oakwood simply because of their basketball experience. Well, first year was COVID, second year JV, third year went to CF championship, and this year was. And as a father, if my son felt that way, I'm like, where's the fishing trips? Where's the father-son time? Where's the you're talking about your entire 4 years, you summed up your entire experience. Not everything else that come with the school. You guys go to private schools for a reason. Just basketball is your identity. And I think more than anything, that's what parents are doing. They're making it their kid's identity. Like now the whole back thing, right? I used to be opposed to it. I'm not now. I wish I had my son in the house one more year, my oldest, right? Like, but what I tell parents is make sure little Timmy's involved in the process. If it's a forced situation,
It ain't never gonna work.
it's not gonna work.
Never.
Now, his psyche, so say you force him and say he doesn't get what he feels that you want 4 years from now. Do you know what type of mental
No, I know.
anguish?
There was a
I've
kid that was forced with Corey. You know, we hold kids back all the
Right.
time. So, and I always tell parents that he has to want to do it. He or she has to want to do
Right.
it, or I won't do it anymore.
Right.
Because I saw that very early on with Corey, and that kid did not want to do it, and stopped playing basketball 8 months later, and started getting into stuff he wasn't supposed to get into because you pushed him to a mental place that he went, emotional state that he couldn't handle because he lost all his friends. His friends moved on, and all these other things that happened in there. So.
And so, I mean, if you're gonna do it, but make sure he's gonna let him know if they're involved. Okay, let's put together a program where you're getting stronger, faster, social. You know, you still gonna have the social piece, but let's do our best to give you advantages, whatever. However you guys want to communicate it, but it's not like the end all be all. Let's give ourselves the best chance, and then let's enjoy it together. So but then it's also not to do 8th grade again and play 8th grade again.
Right.
Because now that's false confidence. Well, you are the oldest now. Like, well, you don't need to do that. Get in the weight room, work out 5-6 days a week. You ain't got to worry about being sore on the weekend again. Every now and then, go hit a camp, one of the camp, to go test it out. But find a gym where adults are playing. Yes. It ain't to go and get ranked and written up about, because now you're adding another piece. The piece where now you got the whole world, because now we got to remember, although I walked off the bench, and it was in the papers, it was short-lived, right? Like, I didn't get hammered on social media every day. Like, damn, he fucked up. These kids, quarter 1, he's the best thing since sliced bread. Then he missed quarter 2, he's terrible. Quarter 3, he's good. In their one game, they're getting criticized a million different times.
Yep.
They're getting so much put on their psyche that we should be a place of peace. And if you trust your circle, and you know what I'm about, it's so cliche overstated, but trust the process. Yeah. Because him coming home and hearing your mouth for 2 hours on the car ride home after I already got on him, and then on the social media, all he doing is looking at like little Timmy, getting hyped and this and that and what have you. That's why I tell my kids, I say till I'm blue in the face, we're only focused for high school. And then by that time you'll be mentally mature enough, whether you make varsity right away or not, to kind of deal with it. But just focus on high school. Just focus. You're going to blink your eyes. 2 years going to come, and I tell them life's a pyramid. At the base, so many people are doing it.
Yeah.
As you go up less and less, listen, I'm doing everything I can to keep you within those walls.
Yeah.
Within the walls. You're going to see a lot of people drop off. So just focus on the journey.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard, but it makes it so much more enjoyable. I don't understand why more people don't do it. I wish I had that with Khalil.
Yeah.
I was young. I wish I had someone that I trust to train. Training wasn't like that big then.
Right.
They can just take them.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't coach in high school. If I coached in high school, I'd be an all CIF Hall of Fame, all the kids I've worked with. I know at least 30% each year would have came to my school. And I would have won championship. I didn't want to coach my son.
You didn't want to coach Khalil?
No. And then that's why I stopped. I stopped doing high school AAU too because I didn't want to coach him.
Right.
Yeah, but then I'll never forget this. After having the surgeries and, his junior year, we didn't have no bigs at Campbell Hall. He's banging against Roy Hemsley, Breland Brant, both NFL, well, should have been, but Lyman's, USC, UCLA, Benny Boatwright, Cody Riley. His junior year, I remember he had tape on his, So senior year, found out he had tears. But I think it was all this, And I remember Tank Thornton telling me this, I'll never forget. So now my stepson, I'm telling my wife, my stepson, and my newborn, he said, no one's going to love you like your kid. So yeah, this time around, I'm at least going to be on the bench. Because there's no way I should have had Khalil guarding bigs his entire junior year.
Yeah.
It cost him. But in the moment, I let, coaches do what they do. Yeah, we've had issues because know the game, but never in the middle of a game, why is he on the bench? Sat there after the game, But.
So I asked Melvin Booker, this Devin Booker's dad. He was like, I said, did you ever coach him? He's like, hell yeah, I did. He's like, I was on the bench. I was the assistant coach. He said, because if you played or trained, done this at a high level, there's certain things in game, adjustments, and things that you can see that you need to tell him that people who don't have that level of experience necessary or see them how you see them, that you need to do. So I'm like, yeah, I same thing. I wanna my son to train with other people, but yeah, when it's time to coach him, and make sure you can separate that relationship. Hey, I'm a father in this. Actually, Brian Cantwell, the coach over at Chaminade, he's had his third son is a sophomore now. He's coached his other two, and he's learned how to really separate that dad from that coach part. Doesn't talk about basketball at home. Only when he asks about it. And just little different things you can do as a trainer, coach, to make sure that you're keeping that relationship separate for your son, because they do need you, especially if it's your expertise. Like, it'd be crazy for you not to show King and to how to hoop. Like, that's your gift is to bless them with that. So.
And definitely doing it moving forward, because end of the day too, if we make a mistake, it falls back on us. Like, we go to sleep at night, but I allowed someone to put you in a bad situation, and like, what we can't do nothing about it. But if we make a mistake, because my son will have a say, like the thing with my oldest, Khalil, and I, is that I was his trainer, I was his coach, I was this, I was that, and at the same time, me and his mother had this, at the time we didn't get along. So I was fighting that. And I hammered basketball even more, and it goes back to not to be a basketball player. Work your ass off to get what you want. And I remember this, so it's changed me a lot, even now, even how I coach, and even how I parent, how I deal with people. I'm still hard, like Khalil and Spencer and even Trevor and all them, when they come out, bro, you ain't like what you used to be. Because I used to try to get it all in one session, because I didn't want to see that kid again. And I tried to, whatever it is that I saw was missing, I was trying to coach that shit out of him. And so I was forced to go, my son, because we were young, my son's mother, I was forced to go to family counseling. It was the best thing that ever happened to us. Well, for me too, right? It's that there's things that she saw in Khalil that he got from me that she didn't like. There's things I saw in him that he got from her that I didn't like. It's innate. Your kid's gonna pick shit up from you, bad, good, indifferent. And so as the therapist saw the relationship, he figured me out. He's like, so then we had independent sessions. I'll never forget, it's not changed. Still have my hard moments, but change. He's like, you cannot outwork DNA. I see what you're doing. I know there's a laid back side to his mom that you don't see, and there's things that y'all can't outwork DNA. You just have to be present, show him what it is that you want him to be, as far as whether it's work, because work ethic was a thing for me, and hopefully he'll pick those up.
Yep.
But and I didn't realize how strong DNA was. You know, all the time, I didn't know my dad. Oh, you're just like your dad. I'm just out people just talking that bullshit. Oh, you're just like your dad. Then it's like, no, there's things you innately pick up. Like, man, they said my mannerisms. I ain't never met this man.
Yeah, crazy.
And so then it's like, yeah, so you can teach him what you want to teach him, but you cannot out-train, out-coach, you just have to coach him, the habits, the principles, and be a resemblance of that. And he'll pick up and form as he go. But DNA is a thing.
Yeah.
So today, like, I know some of these kids got situations from their mom, some from their dad, from that habits, you know, and I can't outcoach that. I can just keep hammering home what I know from my experience doing this. It's going to help you play this game as long as you possibly can, but more so than anything, it's going to attribute to your successes off the court. So I'm not as crazy as I used to be. That's one thing oh man, because I used to try to get it in that moment. Like every time I saw you, we had to go. I don't know when I'm seeing you again. I want to make sure you leave here getting it. I'm not going to get it one time.
Right.
You know, so you can't outcoach DNA.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so that's why my LLC is called Outwork. I've always been this when I was younger. A lot of guys work out. Not too many outwork. I just, I switched the out and work. And I was like, everyone said they work out. How many of you guys outwork? Coach, what does that mean? How many workouts you had today? I had one, went to practice. What else? Practice don't count. Why? That's what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
So that don't count to a workout for me. You can't check that off. You didn't have a workout today.
Yeah.
You did what everybody else in the world did. So just trying to teach them habits, and then slowly, whatever it is, they start out working, whatever that may be, getting up earlier, doing this, dotting their eyes on their paper. Like my son, me and Khalil, he'll tell you. Back then, typewriter was, computer wasn't he still was handwriting shit. He didn't dot the I's, cross the T's, rip that shit up, ball up, do it again. It's got to be legible. So my whole thing was, whatever you do it with an intent, right? Like, just don't do it to do it.
Yeah.
And so that's how I am with all the kids, man. But there's a different way of messaging it now, right? Like, I still drop some F-bombs. It's just in that, look, I don't know if that's DNA too, because my family's Belizean, but I don't
just
drop
words? That's how you feel? They just words.
I don't drop it as much as I used to, but I drop it, but once again, like, I do go home and check myself.
Yeah.
I check myself every day.
Yeah.
At the end of the night, what could I have done better? What could I have done in this training session? But what coaching, what did I do? Like, after we lost the game this past week, Sunday, and dealing with all the family dynamics and knowing it was this kid's last game, and he wasn't giving valiant effort knowing he was done after this tournament. There was a kid I probably should have played more. Got to the hotel, I'm cussing like crazy. I'm mad I didn't play. I could have, take it home. It ain't just, I sit there on it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, it's crazy though. It's still evolving.
Yes, that's the learning experience,
still
right?
Evolving.
That's how you get better. Is that if we don't reflect on what we did throughout the day and talk to ourselves about what we could have done better, we're not feeling that. We're not learning. That's the process of learning. So no, that's good, man. You've always been like that, just trying to get better and grow and evolve, and you've seen it through everything you've done from your BFT days to now training. Shoot, I don't know, like half the NBA, it feels like, but like NBA players every summer. And
I think I'm back to just like, even at the NBA level, I'm telling kids all the time, y'all, they're no different than y'all. I've lost a lot of guys because of my expectations, and not with stats. I expect them to take full advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah.
And some of them got tired of my texts, maybe, and my voice, but I go to sleep at night because my money don't change if an NBA guy signed a bigger contract. Maybe he should be in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I want it so bad for every player that we come across. I'm learning how to compartmentalize that. I used to take that shit home with me too. Like right now, I don't want to I got a player for the Lakers, right, that just got here, that grew up with me. I hit him just checking here and there. I'm expecting my phone to ring like, we need extra work. That would have killed me just 2, 3, 4 years ago. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
LA, leave me in space. When the time comes, my phone ring.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm looking on the flip side. There's a player from the Clippers, this first ballot Hall of Fame, that hits me up that I go work out with, that I didn't raise. Like a Hall of Famer can do it, but that shit bothers me, but not as much. So like, I'm passionate about each player independently for them.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we do good at what we do, because it's about them.
Yeah.
You know, but take that shit home too. My wife be like, what's bothering you? I'm like, I can't. I don't even watch basketball games no more, bro.
Really?
No, what I do is I look at the stats of the guys I train, then I go rewatch their touches on Synergy. I watch games now and again, like I'll get home late, and if it's a good game and I've already missed it, but I don't know the score, so I can fast forward through commercials. It's no longer a 3-hour time suck, it's an hour.
Yeah. I do the 10-minute condensed on YouTube.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's the way I watch games.
Right.
I barely ever watch a full game. You go to YouTube on the NBA,
Right.
9 minutes, watch every game from the night before.
Oh, okay.
You get the gist of what happened.
Yeah, I probably need to do that. But like, you know, end of the day too, it's like, it's still me watching the guys and what they can get better at and what they're gonna work on. But then I start realizing like, there's a select few, even at that level, that do the extra.
Yes.
So I'm sitting there wasting my time. Like, I don't know video breakdown, but I taught myself Synergy, pulling the clips, sending to guys with little notes. Realize they're not even watching it. That takes me. So it's like,
What we doing?
I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, I guess, but, you know, like so, I mean, I guess I'm bringing Shane into this conversation. This one announcer said this, like, it was 3 weeks ago, I was watching Shea play. And basically they said he gets it. And so broadcast partner didn't understand, like, he wants to be great. She's like, but don't they all want to be great? No.
Nope.
Some of them a majority of them are content that they're here.
Yes.
But he gets it. But you can see that earlier. That's why in the Slam article I did during his rookie year, like, he's going to be the best player in this draft. It's that it factor.
Yeah. It's the difference from the Jordans, the Kobes, all them dudes. It's like, oh no, they're like, hey, there's NBA players who we all love, NBA All-Stars who we all love. There's superstars who are great, but then there's those ones that are like, there's something outside of basketball. Like, people who don't hoop want to be like them.
Right.
Everybody want to be like Kobe, and even if they didn't play basketball, as far as his mindset, you know, and all those kinds of things. And that's, you definitely said, we actually had that conversation. Who's the MVP? Some kids who was training this morning, and Shea came up.
Shea should be MVP.
Like, what he's doing, and it's like, I was like, respect. That's respect to he's winning and doing it every kind of way, and on both sides of the floor, and doing it. So, no, shouts out to Shea, and you know the work you put in, and what is that? I know people are interested in hearing just like training NBA players. How do you get to that level as a trainer?
Develop one.
What does that mean? That's a,
you know, getting in the dungeon and working with your 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, like they are NBA players. A lot of times, I didn't do this to train NBA players, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to and brought in, and I'm probably gonna talk to you about this. I'm really trying to get back in the youth space heavy. I know it's necessary and it's needed. I get joy out of training NBA players. I get thrill out of working with the youth. That's why I got into it. NBA guys, for the most part, are who they are. I didn't get into this to, you know, teach a guy how to shoot a jumper and mold.
Yeah.
Character, ethics, build. work hard. Seeing a guy go from 8 points a year to 16 years, awesome. Seeing a guy make All-Stars, awesome. But seeing a kid that couldn't keep his head up straight, had no confidence, to now is the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Seeing a kid that couldn't dribble and was very timid, to now being able to socialize, and that's why I got into it.
Using basketball.
So to all the young trainers out there, people hit me all the time. How I said, the biggest thing I can tell you, 3 things. Treat your 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old kid like they're an NBA player. You'll eventually build one. 2, don't cheat the game. Don't try to take short steps. Teach it the right way. Don't fall victim to, the social media way of doing things. That's short-lived. The 30 dribbles, the this and that, the this. Even some of the guys that we knew, a couple grew up under you, I see have changed how they train. Ethics they still may be, but they've changed. They used to be YouTube guys. And then third, man, always keep your character first, bro. And all them 3 things, man, you're gonna be successful even if you don't develop an NBA guy. Like one of my coaches, we had a coaches meeting a few weeks ago. One of my coaches, because what I've done with, and you've probably a lot, not allowed, wrong term, you've probably put your coaches in place as well. It took me 30 years to get where I'm at. Coaches that come under me, it's taking 1 hour.
Yep.
Because social media make perception reality. You are now a pro NBA trainer because you've been in the gym with us and picture says it.
Yeah.
So I got kids that I've put in place, coaches that's been doing it 2-3 years and think it's been such a long time. And now they treat our 9, 10-year-olds and 8-year-olds. I don't want to do him. Dog, do you know what I was doing year 3? I was at Pally Rec coaching 3 or 4 teams, raising a kid. Do you know what I was doing year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7? I was still in the parks. So one of my coaches, we had a coach, he said, bro, your 8-year-old client is a client for almost 10 years if you do it right.
Right.
Your NBA client is 3 months. Because they may go to somebody else
this
next year
summer,
and the
this
year
summer,
and
yes.
this summer. And it's like, he said that, and it was the best way to communicate it in our meeting. Because I'm looking at my coaches, and I'm like, bro, I be telling my man Adrian, like, man, I need you to talk to me, because they hear my voice all the time, my coaches. And it's like, bro, like, you got to treat every client like he's a pro. So if you're getting into this, don't get into it to train pros. That's 450 guys. Of the 450 guys, maybe 15 stay loyal.
Yeah.
Right? Because think about it.
And they all work with the same 10 trainers. I mean.
Right. No, for sure. And not just that, right? Not just that. Just think about it. And it's not a knock on the other 435.
Yeah.
The game of basketball breeds and teaches kids lack of loyalty subliminally. Yeah. Think about it. Player A plays with our team for 3-6 months, then you go to that team, because your parents is bouncing you around. Yeah. Right, parent? So as a kid, we're learning this through the formative years. Oh, this is the way it's done. So these are, and most NBA guys are recognized by 12, 13 that, yo, that's the one. So they're being told that's the one since they was 12, 13. Fast forward 12, 13 years from now, 26. You get the 15, the Jimmy Butlers, the Spencer Dinwiddies, the guys like that had to grind. And they tend to stay loyal to the guy that's been there with them for a little bit. They'll move on. Something may have happened, but it ain't that I left because I'm jumping to another trainer. Maybe a relationship situation, but there's only a few of those. Yeah. There's only a few. Like, that's why I love LeBron so much. Like people think I don't like him. I do. James Harden. Them dudes have put everybody's been in their circle in position somewhere. Yeah. Jimmy Butler, but he wasn't no Mickey, none of that. But, I know he put Chris Way in the game early. Yeah. But there's few of those. There's very few. So why chase 1 out of 450 that may be with you for 3 months, maybe 3 years, when you get an 8-year-old for 10 years? Every 8-year-old walk in your gym is a 10-year contract if you do it right. Yeah.
And if you're an NBA trainer, then you would develop somebody into an NBA player. Everybody got all the other stuff.
And then if you're doing that to them, now the game's evolving the right way. But to guys that want to train, man, just that's your goal. I'm not gonna kill nobody's goal. Like, be authentic to the game. Teach it the right way. Don't fall in love with the gimmick stuff. because clickbait. Be true to who you are as a person. Character, ethics, don't change. And then develop one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Develop one. If you develop one more times than not, they'll stay locked in with you.
Right. Makes sense, man. Wisdom from the Guard Whisperer. That's a new segment. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
So what else is going on in the world of Olin Simplis? So we have the U, which is a AAU team for
Youth basketball training.
Youth basketball training, and then you have teams as well inside of that. And how many teams do you have?
We have
with
one.
That? Just one right now.
Yeah, it wasn't originally meant to be a AAU, just the U Basketball Academy for kids.
Got it.
And then we formed a team with just kids I've been training. Probably gonna do 2 to 3 more teams, but I don't want to compete with other programs. Just for middle school, I want to have a middle school section where it's maybe a combo 10-11 because I don't have enough time and resources to coach so many teams. We already have this 12U established, maybe a 13-14 combo or a 13-14, but like, yeah, 4 teams.
All right, and then so I'm gonna talk about Girl Rocks.
Oh man.
Man, it's been. I remember when you first told me about it, man. Just the concept is dope. You train a lot of women and girls, all the way from youth to WNBA as well. Heavy on that scene. So what's Girl Rocks all about?
Girls Rock to me is a movement. You know, it's a platform, a movement, a space to empower women, shed light on what women are doing, not just basketball and sports in general, right? Once again, you know me very well. I've been sleeping on it for a while. It's something I've had envisioned for a long time. Came up with the logo a while ago. You know, girls are diamond-shaped basketball, CK, because, you know, diamond, women are gem. You say a girl rock, that means she's amazing what she do. And just the Girls Rock logo and just is, you know, a phrase of endearment and empowerment. So now we're really pushing, you know, girls are, it's a time now that girls are getting the treatment they deserve. And I don't think I told you my Kobe story. The morning his plane went down, I was supposed to meet with him. My barber is his barber for 16 years. And, you know, we're in LA. I'm not a starstruck dude. We grew up in LA. Me and Kobe have never shook hands. My favorite player of all time. I'll see him another time. So he bought 2 of my D slides through my barber, loved it. And then my boss like, he works with women too. So he set up a lunch meeting at the tournament. We were gonna go in between games. Driving down there, the helicopter comes down, devastated. You know, me, the family, my wife, hence my younger one's Kobe, named after him. But my wife said it's time for you to really get on it in honor of what Kobe was doing. So it's still been a slow thing going because I'm always moving. But so Girls Rock, man, we want to turn it into a space where women know that when that Girls Rock is for them. They don't need to go to a guys camp to get the same treatment as guys. Because back in the day, I trained everybody. I didn't look at men, women separately, basketball players. So like, you a girl, you come train here. It was guys, but I still have that. But I want a thing that this is for me. I can go get performance training the same way guys get it. I go get training the same way guys. I can go to a girl's space and place. Then the movement itself is just, man, let's just shed light, help these women get what it is that they can get out this game, and just evolve the brand of basketball first, but then we're gonna move in other sports.
I love it.
You know?
Love it. Yep. No, I always love that concept, the movement, and man, throw some gasoline on that thing, man.
Oh yeah, that's
fire,
what we're
man.
doing. That's what we're doing.
Absolutely.
We have to. Now's the time.
Absolutely. And so, anything else happening in your world that you want to let the people know about that's up and coming, that you want the people to know or can happen?
You'll be proud of this. I'm finally getting my website done.
Let me tell y'all something about me and Olin.
Yeah.
So I met Olin when I was coaching at Campbell Hall.
Correct.
And Khalil was there his sophomore year. And so didn't really know who Olin was. Didn't know, that was my first time. That was my first high school job, was Campbell Hall as an associate head coach.
Right.
Which is awesome but crazy. And just connected with watched some of his training sessions and what he was doing, adopted a lot of what he was doing with resistance bands and all that in the work and pounding the ball, and just a mentor for me. And, Khalil, I stopped coaching at Campbell Hall that next year and just stayed connected. And then a few years ago, it was during COVID, right?
Yeah.
It was during COVID, stepped in and just wanted to help him I knew all these things the potential of it and getting
Nah,
it
but
out.
bring up one of the most important days of my life, and then that's when I realized what you was doing.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah. I
forgot.
forgot. I
Yeah.
didn't forget,
Right.
but it was going. Yeah.
Right.
So I was me and my wife marriage counsel, Olin and his wife in Asia, and through COVID, huh? Yeah, and just being able to be a piece of that and the wedding.
And you married us.
Yeah, officiated the wedding. Was awesome, dope, and just seeing your growth through that, and yeah, and then like you said, it just grew from there. Just being able to organize and show, to have him see the vision of everything is there, and hopefully, I think it lit a little flame to where you are today with everything.
No,
And
no, no. I mean, unfairly, and I'm saying this, everybody I've tried to bring in, because I didn't know about this space until you told me about this space. You're like, yeah, man, I do some kind of managing stuff for Chris Johnson. I'm like, huh? He got a manager? I'm like, that's why these dudes getting all this. Because I'm like, how can they get all this done while they're on the court as much as me, unless social media is like, I knew how Dribble was getting his because I used to train Dribble. And then his marketing manager at the time was his wife. So she's at home connecting dots. I'm like, damn, I need to find somebody. But in this basketball space, even in that lane, everybody's a little shady still. So when you tell me, I was like, man, I need that. And then we started working and your core stuff took off and then you was trying to hand off the day-to-day to somebody else. So then I found a young lady who's really good, but not in the basketball space. More public speaking, and I was starting to do a little bit more of that and writing books. And I was probably still bring her back. But then we were using your person for the web, but she was handling, and it was just all over the place.
Yeah.
And so then I already put money down on the web. I'm like, man, I ain't gonna pay for another web. I'm gonna shortcut this one. So I've been trying to shortcut it for a couple of years because I already put like, I remember $3-4 grand. I'm like, man, I don't need no website crazy because the website can be sexy if you're brand new.
Right.
The sexiness of my website is who I train, what I've done. It don't need to be, but it's just been, and it goes back to what I said before. I wouldn't call myself a perfectionist by any stretch. I try to be though.
Yeah.
And what that does is it tends to push you back. You don't do it until it's perfect. And so I just got to a space now, like, man, look, like even we're talking about the podcast, you said you're going to introduce me to your person that does your stuff, right? Oh, yeah, she's here. But I'm like, right now, I'm going to just film in the gym.
Yeah.
And then obviously if we connect and then it evolved, but why wait? The girls rock stuff, I've been waiting for the perfect feel material. We just hired 3 people to build 3 and just see who's the best, and we're just gonna roll. Then we met with this guy, Josh Kelly, who's been hitting me for years. You may know Josh Kelly. He has Kelly Media, he's out of Boston. He does Phil Handy stuff. So I said, you know what? Let me just hit him with the bag, get this over with, bro. Like, let me just, it ain't gotta be perfect. So in the last 6 months, I've executed more than I've executed in the last 6 years. You know, the shoes I'm wearing, I signed the deal. Normally I'm trying to make sure.
What's the name of the shoes?
Serious Players Only. Very comfortable, great up and coming brand. We're working on a meal prep company now that'll obviously start with me, but get our players on, because some players have enough money to hire a chef. Some people, they get a good meal prep delivered to them. We're working on some things, but brought Adrian in because Adrian is on my 12U team, and then he sent me an email to like get stuff done for my 12U, and I saw how meticulous he was. Like, remind me of you. And I was like, yeah, I need to hit him. And normally I used to be afraid to ask. You know, I'm older. Like, you know what, man, I'm doing good. I ask anybody for help now. Like, yo, sometimes I ask too many people. I have an ego with it. It wasn't an ego before. It was just like, eh.
Yeah.
But now he's like, nah, let's do it. And then he used to work with the Denver Nuggets. Then he was in the music space. He's still in the music space. He wants to get back in the sports lane. So shit, take me on and let's evolve this. So it's slowly going. And then I had him come here so y'all can meet, because I know there's things that you've done for Chris or whoever's just, I'm just trying to get stuff moving now. I'm about to be 49 in a couple months. I can't train to the level I train at, coming anytime soon. It's gonna stop. That faucet gonna get turned off. So I need another couple faucets turned on.
Yeah.
While that faucet is just leaking a little bit.
Yeah.
But nah, man, I'm just doing stuff now.
No, I think you hit on 2 very important things for success. These are success principles that people sleep on often. Is just get started.
Right.
Let your mistakes happen early and often.
Right.
Don't, like, the more you fail, the more I failed with core early on. Now I'm at a place after 10 years.
Right.
It took me 10 years to get to this place where I'm like, for real profitable. I know how to operate. I know how to lead.
Right.
But it's because I messed up so much in the
Right.
beginning, because I just went. And so that's
Right.
the good success principle is fail early and often.
Right.
And just take it and just keep going, though. Once you stop, that's when you fail.
Right.
That's what failure really is. And the second one is asking for help.
Right.
Is that everybody wants a shortcut to success? Find you a mentor. Find somebody who's done it before. That's your shortcut to success. So you miss the obstacles they had to go through. You're still going to go through your own, but you miss those obstacles, and you get somebody to give you a blueprint to how to get to where you want to go.
Right.
And so those are the two things, man. I hear you just
Nah,
saying. And,
you know, I mean, you even connected me with a life coach. I still want to connect with the person because I know it helps. You know, just invest in myself, man. You know, I'm married now, and then another reason to stall too, just to put it out there. You know, me and my wife was thinking about doing some different things. Not that basketball was gonna go away, but you know, like we was contemplating with the concept of, you know, maybe getting on a team. Stability, you know, she was an independent, I'm independent contractor, you know, just for insurance side of things. So I had some teams that was close to moving in on, then things happened and say, you know what?
You mean coaching for an NBA team?
Yeah, man. I said,
WNBA
you know
team,
what? Let me get back to this, the youth part. Then she got pregnant, and so before we got married, so it was like pregnant. Then like, you know what? I want to come home to my kids. Like I don't want to be gone. You know, it's people think that NBA grind is sexy. That NBA grind is tough. It makes sense for like the head because the compensation makes sense.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna be away from your family, you're on a grind all the time. You're going from, you know, different time zones, and it's hard on you. It ages you. So now if I'm getting paid millions, it makes sense. But there's only a couple people in the organization getting paid, you know. So I have an entity here that I know can make millions.
For sure.
So it's that time.
Yeah.
I do okay, but I got a team that I feel devoted to, coaches, and it's like it's showed loyalty, and it's like, man, this VR thing, the merch thing, the online thing, the e-courses, the shoe deal, like we just grinding. Then I want to start a school like yours, or maybe have
maybe
have a 2.0 or something like that.
Just come over to.
No,
we're gonna talk right after this. Actually,
no, because we have the resources and the place to kind of do it, and I see what you've done, and because I'm so animated about the youth again, I have no problem doing that. But I want to go 9 months youth, 3 months pros. Before it was like, you know, I had guys flying me out and still doing that. Like, I don't like when they bring it up. Like, I don't even like, you know, because they'll bring it up like, yo, give me your account. I won't even hit them because I'm hoping they forget. Because I'd rather be home.
Yeah.
But while being home, I got to set some stuff up.
Right. Yeah.
Because when you're away, you're getting paid.
Yeah.
So,
It's a balance.
but no, a lot of good things is happening right now, man. And yeah, we definitely got to wrap because, you know, like you said, if you got the blueprint or if I come in or whatever, it's that time, bro. It's that time. I'm 100% like, even think about being a high school coach, like head one day. Like before, I would never.
Yeah, because you're getting close to this retirement on this training stuff. And so you still get to be a part of the game. You get to mentor. Everything that you are and you do that says head coach.
Right.
You have that. Right. And so, nah, man, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, no, it's a blessing.
Awesome, man. We're gonna move to the next segment of the show. It's called My Rushmore. All right. So you train a lot of guards who are tall, right? And you know, you had the big guard part. You're the guard whisperer, right? You do that. Your top four, we're gonna say big guards, and what I mean by that is taller guards, over 6'5", 6'6". We'll say over 6'6". Point guards specifically of all time for you.
Can we do, because I don't want to show biasness, can we do 4 I train and 4 that I don't train?
Nah.
I have to include the guys I train?
4 all time.
I'm gonna just choose the guys I train. Then it won't be fair. It won't be fair.
That's why it's called My Rushmore. Your Mount Rushmore.
Okay, my Rushmore. Definitely Shea Spencer. I mean, I don't think, obviously Shea's numbers is amazing what he's doing, and he came in and balls in his hand and he had to work. I don't think people realize how good Spencer has been. There's like 3 years there where he was top 2 in ISO percentages and this and that, even when he had that Brooklyn team and took him to the playoffs. But you know, anyway. Those two for sure, and then Magic Johnson got to be there because that's my favorite player of all time. Gosh, man, because Penny Hardaway got hurt early, but he was that dude too.
Yeah.
That would be the closeout. And then my sneak Mount Rushmore that's not 6'5" is Tony Parker.
Yeah, that boy cold.
It ain't just cold. There was years where he was top 5 in paint scoring during the time when NBA was physical.
Right.
Undersized, lived in the paint, and that's what big guard means to me, by the way. How you play, not necessarily your stature.
Yeah.
And that man lived in the paint. Like, he was top 5 during the Shaq era, Tim Duncan era, dudes like that, and scoring for years in the paint. So, applied pressure on defenses, but that would be my 4th.
4+1, I like it.
Yeah.
So, my 4, I'm a Shea for sure. He's a game changer. I think he's a talent and somebody I think the kids should look up to more. I think we got a lot of people who look up to the wrong style of player that doesn't fit who they are. Right. And like, if you're tall guard, go watch that man. Like, please. Magic for sure. I think
easy.
Yeah, that's
easy.
It's not even a conversation.
Yeah, him and Kobe, the greatest of all time. So
and well, Michael Jordan existed, so we'll maybe talk about that later. But the Penny, like you said, his injury, I think, sidetracked everything he was and about to be. And for me, like you said, my 4th is going to be somebody who's under the 6'5" is Russell Westbrook. You talk about being a big dog, man.
No, Russell.
Like you talking about being a big guard, talking about the mentality and
for sure,
the bounce, the physicality, just the dog in him, man. That's man.
Yeah, if you didn't put that 6'6" up there, you would have had Russ and Baron Davis in there.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, I did. Well, you added somebody at the end, so I'm gonna just
but outside of my Rushmore, I did my 4 above 6'6", and that's to go far left.
The other
with
one,
the tiny
okay,
one.
so I'm gonna put Tyrese Halliburton.
Right now?
Right now, Tyrese Halliburton is a little mix between Magic and, for me, Steve Nash actually is who you remind me of.
Really?
His movements, his patterns, how he flows.
I can't put Tyrese up there.
I know. It's cool. I get it.
Look,
and I understand.
Here's why. Look, Tyrese is a monster. Indiana runs Loyola Marymount style of play right now. It's just offense. Let's run gun. Let's run gun. They win some games. They lose some games. They win. It's, to me, terrible basketball. It's not meaningful basketball. He's getting stats in an LMU environment. Like, you watch Indiana Pacers play?
Yeah.
It's just run gun. Chino Hills of NBA. Like,
they got athletes. And they got somebody who can get the ball.
But they're
out.
not stopping nobody. Shea is controlling tempo. He's the oldest man.
Shay's on my mountain. I didn't say he went on the mountain with him.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say. I don't want to kill. I'm not killing. Here's why. Oh, well, Shea and him have stats. No, Shay's on a team that he's the oldest dude in the starting 5.
Yeah,
and they're number 1 in the West.
He was 26 now?
25.
25.
He got 20, 22,
Jeez.
22. He's the youngest dude. Like, that's a baby team he's leading to number 1 in the West.
Yep.
It's impactful numbers.
Yes.
Russell, impactful numbers. You know what I mean? Like Magic, impactful. Penny. They're over there just, they playing pickup basketball in the NBA right now, and it ain't leading to, like, it's some games you win, some games you don't, some games you win, some games you don't. I don't get what that style does, and I have to see it. No, are you guys gonna win with that style?
No, and this is why you are a coach, because you put it into perspective of the whole game. I was talking about individual talent, which hey, that's why it's your Rushmore. I got mine.
No, this is true. But I didn't want people to think I don't like Tyrese.
Oh, no.
I think he's a hell of a player. I have to see that in the playoff when the court shrinks and it's a little more physical. Right now, it's like
competitive.
It's
All-Star game-ish.
Yeah, and I hate the All-Star game.
Oh,
so that's why I can't.
They need to bring it back to where the fourth quarter you got to get a certain point total, I think, and you got to give them more money or something because they, I don't know. So next one, I'm gonna love this one for you. It's called Fix the Net. All right, a misconception about Olin Simplis that you got to make straight with the people.
A misconception.
Yeah, I'm gonna move your coffee says after you dunk. Make sure you don't break nothing.
I mean, it may be something we spoke on already. I think my passion, and I'm gonna call it, is misconstrued or misinterpreted for like he's hard to deal with, he's an asshole, instead of he really cares for the people in his circle. I'm huge. Loyalty is a buzzword for me, and you brought out with passion and loyalty. It's like I'm this big bear, but man, I'm one of the softest dudes you know. One of the most sensitive guys you'd probably meet. And so people look at me like I'm just this big gorilla based on my animation, lack of a better term. But bro, at the end of it, man, my heart is what moves me. And this game of basketball, I care about it so much that more times than not, I ain't even gonna hold you. My wife can tell you, like, I'm saddened by things that wouldn't bother others because I care so fucking much. So I guess it'd be that I'm this big, you know, and people also know I got hands from my past, but you know, I'm a very sensitive guy, so I'm not that gorilla or whatever.
As he dunked the ball,
I mean,
drops that first F-bomb on the show ever.
Oh, my fault. You know, I mean,
ladies and gentlemen, this show with Olin Simplis, parental guidance is advised. Excuse the explicit language. Let's flip that to the front of the show. All right, it's all good. No, that was dope, man. Appreciate that. I think that's the truth because that's what I hear about you, right? And I know who you are, and I'm like, no, y'all need to go get to know Olin. Like, he loves hard, and that's all that looks like. And that's dope. Thank you for sharing.
No.
And then our next segment is called Flip the Script. 2 questions for me about anything.
Man, you're doing so much. It's that. I guess it'd be more for me because I'm moving into this lane a little bit. How do you balance everything you're doing, man? You got core, you got training, you got heritage. I don't know if you're still doing management. You're doing the pod. You're doing Chris Johnson. You're doing OnlyFans. You're doing. My fault.
What are you talking about?
Hold on. But you're doing so much. And then you got 2 kids and a wife at home.
Yeah.
And does your wife work or no?
No, wife, she stays at home.
Oh, so that's a blessing. So then you're able to get to see her. So I'm trying to figure this out now because I'm taking on more. I'm getting nervous. I'm gonna be away from the house more because my wife works still, and she just moved offices a little further. She in Hollywood now, but what's your balance like?
So. I'm gonna say so. I have a mentor named Tony McGee, and he told me deal, and so that stands for D, delegate, E, eliminate, A. What's the A? Automate, and L, let go. And so, no, what's L? Hold on, I want to get this right, y'all. I'm going to my phone.
Let go sounds right.
No, because eliminate is the eliminate.
Okay, right.
Hold on, let me get this right for y'all. Where is it? Delegate, eliminate, automate, and then liberate. To get to the freedom. Right. So I delegate for core at this point. I delegate almost everything. And so where I'm there, I'm present, and I lead the people who work with me that lead each sport or what they're doing. I'm actually back on the court a lot more for core right now too, just because I want to set the tone. That environment needs to be right. But I delegate pretty much everything else within core.
Gotcha.
Even with this is Karina's thing.
And that's why I need that. It's giving me more work.
Yeah, no, and so my job, the first time we did this, she said, you just need to show up. You're the talent. That's literally what she told me, and that's how I come in here. And of course, I asked if she needs help, but she literally has everything set up. And also, I've given her the resources to make it easier on her. Because at first, she was editing all these 2.5, 3-hour podcasts, manually. And so now we bought software where this is pretty much edited on the spot.
Wow.
So my job is, when I have somebody who works with me, is that I work for you, actually.
Right.
You tell me what you need to do your job, and that's how I approach everything. Right. And so empowering people to do their job and giving them the resources to do it. And then I have a rule: I don't train after 3 p.m. And so all my training is 5, 6 a.m. if you want to train with me, you got to wake up. That's it. And so I don't train any later than 3, and I'm at home with my kids. I usually pick my daughter up from school every day, and then spend time. My wife goes to the gym, or I just take them outside, or they go to a basketball game with me, so I'm spending time with them. We do no screen time between 7 and 8 p.m. before the kids go to bed. And then me and my wife hang out until I fall asleep at 9:15 after they go to bed at 8. But or we stay up and try to watch TV, and that's our time. And so, yeah, the other stuff. So it's really just core, this podcast, and I'm building some consulting / course stuff that I do it all in the morning. I just get it done before 3 p.m. So I wake up, train, and then I go in the office and just put my head down, have a checklist, and I just cycle through it. And anything I get stuck on, I just delegate. I'm like, all right, this is taking me too long to figure out. Let me send it to somebody, and I'm investing into it. That you got to not be afraid to put the money where you know you're going to see the return long term. So I'm sacrificing on, all the other stuff I want to do, because I know if I develop this the right way, I ain't never have to worry about money again. And it's by blessing others. It's not me just looking out for myself.
Right, no, and that's where I'm at, because I was telling Adrian, I hold the gym hours at Academy USA, even though during the year it's empty. I still pay that year round. I still pay, even though no one's coming in the gym. And so it's like, I was watching a podcast the other day, and one of the things that they told me was eliminate that, but then I'm eliminating brand, and I'm eliminating this, I'm eliminating that. I'm like, no, I got to find a way to make sure now that the youth lane is like, okay, we pivoted, because I want to make sure that they're eating, because if they're eating, then they're good for me year round. Because if I don't have them, he goes somewhere else. He may not come back in off season when I need him, not just him, others. And so, like, the way I building out my business, obviously, I'm gonna have you and him talk, because you did a really good job making contract for guys last time I remember. So this time around, I'm making everyone that's part of the team percentage partners in everything we do, even if they ain't got nothing to do with it. Because I feel if so, like the shoe deal, that ain't just me. Like, what comes here, I give coaches, right? Like the girls rock, the virtual reality, other me and him, it's me, him, and this other guy. My part, like, I'm gonna make sure our coaches get a part of that. My online stuff, the book, the this, the that. So although their lane is training, they're still getting, because I want to build a team where I can leave and be gone, and like you said, delegate. But you can't delegate an unmotivated person. It's like overworked and don't see the butt. I'm like, dude, you're
my biggest advice. I'm all for that. Just make sure you have some KPIs. Make sure that there are things that they have to do to earn what it is.
For sure.
And if they don't reach it, they ain't get no equity, because this is you. This is built off your 30 years of experience. And like you said, they just starting off, and where they put the work in, until they start outworking you, they gonna just get paid like an employee. I was pushed to be an entrepreneur, right? Like, somebody had to let me go and do this, and then my business partner came in and then showed me how to actually run a business. He didn't just hand all the resources he had over to me. Nah, he's like, no, you got to learn how to do this. Now I'm at the space where I can duplicate that. And so you want those people to duplicate what you have done.
No, exactly.
And so that's just I love that. That's definitely, that's a good look. Second question,
because this is new, I want to make sure I ask something that makes.
I think I'm gonna need some of them shoes.
Nah, they're tough, bro.
Yeah.
They're tough. These are cancer ones.
Dope.
Because you have your core prep, you have all sports. What is the difference, if there is a difference? I'm curious, because I always talk about it all the time. What's the difference in the culture from all the different sports? Which culture do you see needing the most work to?
Oh, basketball. Hands down. Yeah.
So you got football now?
I got football, basketball, baseball. I have softball, soccer, volleyball for girls, and basketball for girls. So my football program is like, they're like militant. They sit in the front row of their class. They participate in class. They're always in uniform. They're in straight lines. They do stretching by themselves. They hold each other accountable in a encouraging way. There is a culture inside of my football program that I have a culture for core, and there's a culture inside the football program itself. And so I want everybody to duplicate that. That's why I step back into the gym. Is like, oh, I'm copying my guy over here. Like he got this down. So I'm doing that on the basketball side. Baseball, there's just a certain type of person who plays baseball. They're all like very laid back and low key. They're just going about life. Their culture is very. It's not like excellent like football is, but it's great. It's great. Basketball, because of highlight mixtapes, and because of how long basketball for core has been around, and we have had so much success, these kids really think they're the next Johnny Juzang. They really think they're the next Dusty Stromer, Sky Clark. Like they already see it, but they didn't see that me and Johnny was in the gym for 4 hours a day. That Sky had 4 workouts a day. They don't want to do that part, and so there's a little bit of what's the word, where they getting stuff they don't deserve, like just being, privilege. Thank you. They're just privileged. Yes, privilege, and we have to just keep checking them. Like you ain't made it yet. And it's like these kids are so disrespectful. It's like when I bring up the Johnnies and the Skies of how hard they work, they kind of like laugh, like, man, he's always talking about him. I'm like, yeah, because the dude's in the league, and the dude's, at Louisville. Like, that's what you like. I want you guys to know what they did to get where they're going. Because the way you're doing it, you ain't gonna play past your junior year. And so, creating that culture again, where it's highly competitive. Every year in court, I had a kid who was trying to be the best player in the world, except for this year. It's my first year. I don't know if I have somebody who's trying to Elijah Arenas, Isaiah Elohim, Dusty Stromer, shoot, that whole class, Ben Schultzberg, Sky Clark, Johnny, Taryn, like all the way down. I've always had kids who were trying to be the best player in the world. Like just that's how they work. And so I'm trying to encourage them to see that because some of them had that potential. And so it'll be there by next year, be back. But basketball needs the most work. And the parents, it goes back to the parents.
And in basketball, it's the parents are the worst.
Yes. Oh, you know what? Football is close, man. Them people crazy too. Because they
crazy,
think they can yell anything. They're just like basketball, and they're more aggressive and like outspoken on the sideline for football. It's pretty interesting. The cool thing about core is we don't have to deal with parents the way that coaches do because we don't coach them in the game. We just training them, right? But the parents give them excuses. There's so many excuses given for them to not achieve the accountability thing. That's what you were speaking to earlier. It's the same thing on the training side. Oh, he hurt his finger. Okay, dribble with your left hand. Oh, he's sore from the workout yesterday. Yes, he is. That is exactly the point. So, just little stuff like that and educating the parents. That's what I'm in the business of. I educate these parents over and over. So basketball, like you said, needs the biggest facelift for sure when it comes to culture. Yep.
It's a tough one.
Yeah. So 24-second shot clock. That's your camera right there. Let the people know where they can find you and any message that you have for them. 24 seconds or less.
The Guard Whisperer. That's my Instagram. That's my YouTube. That's every. You just look it up. You'll follow me at Guard Whisperer. The biggest thing I always say, the name of my LLC is Outwork. It's simple. It's a small phrase, but anything you want in life, because obviously we're doing this for the kids, is you got to just outwork the talent. I tell all my players, I'm gonna use this wall. Get a globe, an empty map on paper of the entire world. Put a dot where you live, a dot. And that surrounding space is your competition in life. A lot of times we're caught up in the dot, which is the school you're at, the league you're at, high school, whatever, and you're the best. This entire is your competition. So the word outwork means a lot. That's the name of my LLC. And, if you do that, you go to bed at night and things are going to come your way. But you have to put in the work. And I know it's cliche, but you have to outwork everyone to get what it is you want in life because it's competitive out here.
Man. Yep. Absolutely, man. Appreciate you being on the show. This is part one. Olin coming back because we didn't get into a lot of stuff. We're definitely going to be back, man. Thank you for blessing.
For sure. And, for sure. It's been a long time coming.
Yes, sir.
It was an hour and 40 ride coming.
Yeah, and we were on here for 2.5. What we get? 2.5 hour show?
Yeah, that's good.
2:12? 2:06. There we go. All right, my bad. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.